So welcome again, everyone, to our today's session. Call it a session. I would say like it's more like an informative program that AI won't actually replace the QA engineers. QA engineers are the one who will replace using AI everyone else. So let's start and move to the next slide about Transfotech Academy. So the first question everyone has like, okay, who is Transfotech Academy and what we do? Transfotech Academy is an IT training institute, and we are providing with more than 12 years of experience in the IT industry by training students and placing them into a job. So the whole process actually starts from scratch, where we bring in the students who have not a single bit of coding knowledge or the IT knowledge about like knowledge about the IT industry, but they want to get in and they want to earn a handsome amount of salary. So we are working for that for the last 12 years, and we are also e-verified by the USCIS. So till now, we have trained more than 3,000 plus students into the industry, and we have more than 70% of placement rate. So that's a pretty good number, and we don't actually extraggerate that we have a 100% placement ratio because most of our students who are dedicated into the program, who are willingly joining and taking up the initiative to get into the industry, they can and they did. So the placement rate actually says that. And if we move on to the next slide, and we have our 6-step process, which starts from career counseling, your enrollment, our lectures and labs. Then we have our internship program at the very end, interview preparation sessions, because most of the students, they are from non-IT backgrounds or they are career changers. So they don't actually know how to face the interviews and what is the current scenario. So we prepare them for that. And then additionally, with our job placement support provided by our experienced recruiting team, we place them into the market. And here is our instructors, Mr. Faik Chaudhary, who has more than 10 years of experience into the data-driven software quality and analytics across Veruna Incorporated, Outfront Media, and EDRE Collaborative Port Logistics. He is also skilled in automation, analytical problem solving, modern data tools, and lots of. And that's not the only part. I'm actually getting into the interesting part because he's not the sole instructor of this program. We also have additionally our second instructor, Ms. Rihanna Kadir, who is experienced more than 12 years into the software and IT industry. And she got her MSc in CIS from the University of Michigan, a researcher, a software engineer, and also a senior software engineering test in Samsung and R&D. So I think I don't know if how many programs are out there who offers a single training program with two of the prominent instructors who have more than a decade of experience into the industry, and they're willing to teach the students how to get there. So I would now hand over the floor to Miss Rihanna, if you can hear me, Rihanna.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Thanks, Labib.
Okay, so I think should I continue sharing my slide or you want to take over?
Yes, please continue. So if you go to the next slide.
Okay.
Okay, so before starting, I would like to say thank you to everybody for joining today's discussion or information session, whatever you wanted to call it. So I'm Rana, as Labib introduced me before. So I'll start with some fact checks, okay? So it would sound a little harsh initially, but I promise you, at the end of the slide, I can give you some good news, some very positive news for you. Okay, so let's not deny the facts. So what are the facts that we have in front of us as a QA? The first thing, fact number one, the scope of the manual test, the scope of the part of the traditional QA testing, that is the manual test, is getting declined. The number is actually getting declined. Why? Because these days companies actually want the automation test to begin from the first day, the very first day. What it is used to be like 50% of automation coverage out of the entire test coverage is now like 100%, almost like 100% automation coverage, because the companies want what it is this way. So as a manual QA tester, what can you do about that? Is there anything that you can do that the AI can't? No, there's nothing. So in the entry-level position, if you think about only generating the manual test cases or just producing the bugs, defects of the system, the AI system can do that. So that is the point. So you need to target that kind of position where you cannot just find the defect or write the manual test cases. You will upgrade yourself. You will make your position integrated with AI in such a way that it can last for a very good period of time in the next 10 years, maybe 15 years. So this is the bright side of today's reality, is that AI tools, yes, they can generate the test cases and the test scripts, but with the help of this AI, whatever you used to do before or whatever the QA engineers used to do before in maybe like 3 days or 3 hours, they can do it within half an hour or maybe an hour with the help of AI. And this is not just something that I am saying, okay? We have some very reliable evidence for it. So we have the statistics from the Bureau of Labor Statistics of US. So they're saying that the software QA and the testing roles, these roles are getting evolved eventually, and they will last for a very long time. They have a very long-term demand in these sectors with leveraging the AI and the LLMs, right? So the most focused portion of this evolvement should reflect on the automation, of course, and also the integration in the DevOps pipeline. Also, the Gardner report, it says a projection, which is a very positive thing. So they are projecting a 70% growth of the testing process in the next coming years. And it is obviously, it has to be the AI assisted workflow. So the bottom line is AI is not replacing the QS or not removing the QS. What it's doing is, it is making you upgraded. It is making your work faster and more efficient. And the people who are at risk are those people who are refusing to adapt this integration of AI. Okay, Labib, can you go to the next slide, please? Yes. Okay, so this is again the same thing, why QA is still in a strong position, or we can say it kind of became a new integrated role now. What it wasn't exactly like this 5 years ago. So there's something happened between these days, like in 2022, 23, we all know it. But now, what we cannot deny in any software industry is that software industries are still dependent on the releases, right? In every software, they have a certain time for the releases. Maybe 3 times or 4 times a year, they release a new version. And all these releases need validation, right? For this validation, you need the QA. You need to test the validation process. You need to test the riskier areas. The risk management should be there. And of course, with the upgrade, this QA can be integrated with the secure DevOps pipeline. So this kind of integration can make the entire thing in a better position or in an upgraded position. So right now, like all other systems are integrated with AI, they have their own integration with AI. So this entire integrated system also needs the validation and also needs their risk management system in their own ways. And as the actual system is merged with AI as a QA, you need to make your process merge with AI too. That can actually make the validation with the risk management, with the DevOps flow, everything integrated with the AI flow. And yeah, the adaptation of AI is a must, and it's the companies, the process actually need the AI validation engineers, which is the very positive thing right now we can add. Labib, can you go to the next slide, please? Yes, now I gave you the little glimpse of something happened in the last 5 years, right? So now this is the thing. There was a little downtime during the late 2022, and it continued up to early 2024. And you can guess why, because there was the introduction of the LLMs, right? The generative AI, the Chat GPT. It was launched exactly in November 2022, if I'm not wrong. So during that time, something really drastically happened. So all the companies started to think about, is it really necessary to have all these QA people or a huge amount of headcounts in our company? So there were a bit of like layoffs, and people started to think in a different ways, maybe what AI can do. They were overthinking about the AIs and stuff. But then things began to change a little bit. Things got a little stable during the last couple of years. And starting from uh, late 2024, to be exact, so now the company started to think about more strategically. And I would say it was like a strategic recalibration for the companies, that they started to think about not just rely on the AI. It's more on a AI works as an assistant to the human. So at that time, they started to think about all the roles in a different way. So all the roles would still exist with a little bit of integration with the AI. It's not just the QA; it's all about it's about all the roles that a company are offering. So if you look at 2024 data, so a huge number of QA analysts were employed in the US market, and their salary was is a decent one. And there's also a projection of 10% growth uh, through the next 8 or 10 years up to 2034. Now, what happens in 25? The slowdown still was there in the last year, but still, I would say the stabilization started during this last couple of years. So although the manual QA declined, that I already told you, but there was a huge possibility of the automation, and that integration with AI, with automation and the DevOps pipeline started to increase from that year, 2025. And so at the end of 2025 and the beginning of 26, the hiring is getting stabilized, and the new evolved QA role are getting more focused in the companies. And so now the openings, you can see the average annual opening is a huge number. And still in one line, I can say there's a very strong demand for the automation and AI integrated QA engineers. All right. Next slide, please. Yes. So what actually changed the entire thing? I already gave you the hint. I already told you about the LLM and the generative AI, the Chat GPT, Claude, and everything. So what it did was made the manual work that is done by the manual testers way easier. Actually, they started to do all this stuff, like generating the test cases, the scripts, also the AI assisted debugging is there. Test data are generated by the AI. So all this stuff that the manual tester used to do are all replaced by the AIs, but the reviewing part is still there. So whenever AI is generating something, as a QA, you're supposed to review that. Otherwise, there's a lot of cases where AI hallucinates. There's a lot of big scale mistakes that AI made in the last couple of years. So there's a lot of bad examples of that too. So we cannot just rely entirely on AI, but we can leverage the benefits of AI in our system, right? And also the frameworks, the testing frameworks are getting more stabilized. So what we used to do, again, like 5 or 4 years back, we started to work on Selenium, WebDriver IO. There were the common frameworks. So setting up that environment to build up your system and to execute the test cases, it took a lot of time. To be honest, sometimes the environment and the dependencies, it took like more than a day, sometimes a couple of days, or maybe 3 days. But now with the more stable frameworks like Playwright and some similar frameworks are there in the market. So these are very stable and very fast that can make you start within an hour, maybe a couple of hours, what used to be like a couple of days in the past. And of course, not just the building up the environment and dependencies. When you start to execute the test, it is way faster. The integration with the CI/CD pipeline, this is way easier. And the maintenance part, of course, this can be done very easily with the help of AI. And of course, there's the MCP server and the agentic AI things. So test execution is not just about you start to execute that as a human, as a QA tester. Your server can do everything with your prompt. So the smarter validation pipelines are there. So things are pretty much in a different way now, but you need to adopt with that change. You need to evolve as a new kind of QA tester. And yeah, that was the game changer. Frank, can you please continue from the next slide?
Yes, thank you, Rihanna. Hello, everyone. My name is Fayak Chaudhary. I will also be the second instructor in this course. Thanks for that insight, Rihanna. Much appreciated. So to piggyback from what she said, basically, long story short, the QA role has evolved and has changed throughout the years. I want to open it up to the floor and to the rest of the attendees. Has anybody over here never heard of the term quality assurance for software, basically? Anybody's never heard of QA testing? All right, great. So again, to piggyback what Rihanna said, testing is not going anywhere, guys, right? In the end of the day, building software is going to happen, right? And testing is going to be involved in all aspects of it. Our goal in this course is to show you guys the new way of testing. With the experience that me and Rihanna have over 10 years, we have now seen the shift from the beginning and now to this AI world that we live in. To harp on the main factor, AI is here to assist us. So we are going to be covering all standard QA processes. So what you're looking at right now is basically what we want to cover in this course. We're going to start with foundational pieces of QA, agile software development in general. And then we're going to go into using Python, learning about Python. But I want to talk about this AI-assisted manual exploratory testing. We're going to teach you guys from the beginning how to utilize AI. First at the surface level of prompt engineering, using Claude, using ChatGPT to generate test cases, understand requirements, and things of that nature. But throughout the course, we're going to continuously teach the standard QA skill set that everyone has today. As you can see, we're going to cover SQL, we're going to cover APIs, of course, but then we're going to go into automation testing. And as my colleague Rihanna mentioned, automation testing is now really the main skill set for all quality assurance analysts. Manual testing is going to be there, of course, but they're really focusing on not only web automation testing, but overall building automation frameworks. Now in the modern industry, we have moved away from Selenium. Selenium was a great tool we used for many years, but Microsoft came and created Playwright for us. Back in the day, a couple years ago, Java was one of the most prominent programming languages, and now Python has came and has also taken over. For people who are fairly new to programming, Python is very easy to learn, and it's written in a way where it could be conceived as natural English. Python's main goal was to turn programming into something easily digestible by all. So in natural language, natural English language is prominently the syntax of it. We're going to teach you Python from scratch. So if you have no programming experience, do not be alarmed. We're going to start at the beginning. AI is going to help us throughout the entire course, guys, okay? For all that we do, from the CI/CD, security testing, some machine learning systems, AI will be assisting us. Sorry about that, guys. AI will be assisting us in doing the work and eventually getting to the point where, as Rihanna mentioned, using an MCP server and using AI agents to actually execute different things we want to happen during testing. All right. Our main goal is to cover all the QA processes and show you how AI is going to assist in all those QA processes. So always remember, testing cannot go anywhere because testing is needed. Testing is just expanded now. Companies aren't only looking for just a manual tester, they're looking for engineers who can full on do basically software engineering and build entire framework. And also the main thing is, one of the main stress points when it comes to automation frameworks, if people have heard of, is something called flaky tests, right? A lot of times things change in the application that engineers are doing that we're not fully visible on. So sometimes that can mess with actual our test. We're also going to show you guys how to encounter, how to overcome that, how to use AI to do self-healing, how to use Playwright to do all of that. So all these different topics is our game plan, and AI will assist us in not only our work, but also our learning. So we are going to start off with something called prompt engineering. That'll be the first thing we cover in this course. I want to take a second for any questions for the group. Feel free. All right, awesome. I don't see any questions. Okay, Labib, if you can go to the next slide, please. So some house cleaning stuff. This course, our game plan is to do the course within 5 months. Right now, I'm not sure if everyone here is practicing Ramadan. Right now, we are in a holy month for Muslims. It is Ramadan. So currently, our game plan for this month is we're going to do once a week. Soon as Ramadan ends, we're going to ramp up to 2 times a week, 4 hours a week, 2 sessions, 2 hours. Okay? Rihanna will be doing the first half of the course. I'll be doing the second half of the course. And we're going to go into the curriculum in a little bit. Prerequisites for everyone, guys. We want beginners. If you are solely new to IT in general, or even coming with some sort of background in some level of IT, you are perfect for this course. We're going to start from scratch, understanding all QA processes. We're going to mimic the real QA world. We're going to always take it back to what's going on in the industry today. So we want to at least get you guys to have the most experience in this course. So by the time you finish the course and start the interview, you'll feel as if you worked in the real world. That is mine and Rihanna's goal. So what we expect of you guys is to have some basic computer knowledge. If I was to tell you, hey, can you go and open up a browser? I would expect you to know how to open a browser, navigate the internet, open up a desktop application, things of that nature. Everything else we're going to handle. We're going to teach you guys from scratch. We're going to we're also going to supply all resources, all learning resources. That means PowerPoint slides, notes, cheat sheets, concise resource material that you guys can keep forever, as well as study from. That is also our goal. To make sure you guys are learning, you guys are going to be expected to do homeworks. There'll be homeworks to validate your knowledge, and obviously any questions you can bring back to us, and we're going to answer for you guys. Okay. So this brings us to our third topic, the add-ons. Our main goal eventually is to get you guys fully prepared for the real world. So eventually, once this course does end and you guys have all the skill set needed, we want to start moving on to this internship program, where over there we'll do mock interviews. We're going to build an automation framework throughout the course, and you're going to have actual project inside of your GitHub that you can share on your resume. Employers now, especially now, want to see actual projects that you've worked on. It's not just good enough to say, hey, I have all this skill set. They want to see what have you actually done. So throughout the course, we're going to do projects, which we're going to host in some sort of repository that we can share on our resumes. Okay? And then one of the main things is the mock interview sessions. Once you get to that point in the course, you should have already got all the material, you should have learned, done the homeworks, and should be confident enough to go into the market. By the time you get to the mock interview, it's going to be taking interviews with someone, rather me, Rihanna, or someone from Transfotech, and mimicking actual interviews that go on today. Alongside that, we're obviously going to provide feedback to you guys, as well as interview questions that for you guys to memorize. Okay? Okay, cool. Any questions? All right. Is that it, or am I taking over now?
There's one question from Sharab Azman in the QA.
Why am I not seeing the questions on the chat? Yeah, I for some reason I'm not seeing the question. Can you just tell me the question?
Yeah,
Or
the question is, is from Sharab Azman. He's asking, I'm starting this program with zero technical background. My graduation was in music. Will it be a good course for me to go?
Yeah, I think you're a perfect candidate for it. You're making the shift into, oh, I see it now. You're making a shift into the IT industry. Yes, Mr. Schraub, I think this is a great opportunity for you because breaking into tech is difficult. This is one way to break into tech is software testing. Software testing is in demand, right? We have maybe have seen some impact and disruption in the industry, right? I'm sure everyone's aware a couple of years ago there was layoffs heavily in the tech industry, but there was disruption. Regardless, the role has not gone anywhere. So in my personal opinion, to break into tech, it is easier to go in as a software tester than it is to maybe go in as a software engineer. And to give you some peace of mind, Sharab, we are going to start everything from scratch, right? So basically everything we're going to teach from the basic day, responsibilities of a QA engineer to programming and coding. We're going to start at the bottom level and work our way up. Alongside that, we're going to be serving as mentors, me and Rihanna, for you guys. We're going to be there along the way. It's not going to be just, hey, we're going to teach you guys and let you guys go study on your own. We're also going to serve as mentors and be accessible to you guys throughout the entire course, okay? Our course is condensed and it is very user-friendly, meaning from someone who's a beginner, and eventually our goal is to get you to expert level. I hope that answers your question, Sharab. Okay. All right. Is there another slide or am I taking over? Okay, so at this point,
You have another slide remaining, Fai. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay, sorry. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, cool. So what makes our program different? As Rihanna mentioned, a lot of previous courses start really harp on manual testing. And Selenium was one of the prominent software automation frameworks that we're utilizing. The industry obviously has moved on. Now, that is not saying Selenium is gone. A lot of companies are still using Selenium. Once they have adopted something, it's kind of hard to migrate off of it. But now most companies are using Playwright. Playwright is Selenium, similar to Selenium, not the similar concepts, but it is more advanced. So why we bring that up? Because this project that you see in front of you guys, our main sole focus is going to be the automation side. The automation side and us teaching you the skill set utilizing AI is just what's going to make you guys stand out from other people in the market. Being able to do prompt engineering, using AI to generate test cases, AI to debug, AI to write your code, and then also understanding how to implement the code in some framework structure, adhering to object-oriented principles. What makes us different is us really mimicking what's going on in the real world today, what's going on in the industry today, using the latest tools, most in-demand tools, and using AI as our driving power to do all of that. So we're going to be doing the same thing QAs do, but we're going to show you guys how AI is also now involved within all QA processes. This is a little brief background of our goal with this project. No, not project, with this course. And again, what I stress on is we're going to start with prompt engineering. Right off the bat, show you guys, hey, this is how we interact with AI, and then making that as a baseline for everything else we learn for the course. Most programs, as I mentioned, are not moving towards this model, but they might be moving soon. But we found a gap, and we're trying to basically capitalize off of that. The industry is moving towards AI, and we also want to move along with it. Okay? All right, do we have another question? No? Okay. Cool. So any questions, guys? All right, if I did not mention, the course is going to be remote online. All right, so everyone can join. We're going to try to make it at a time that it's feasible for everybody. So I just want to provide that clarity as well. Okay, I have another question over here. Yes, Priyanka, that's a great question. So this is even great. So you have been in the industry and have seen the shift, right? You have been seeing the shift, how AI is now being empowered and also being utilized in all QA processes. We're going to show you how to do your standard stuff that you've been doing, manual, data, API, hybrid, as well as now the automation using Playwright, building a framework, scalable, large framework. And again, one of the main things that we're going to be doing is this MCP server. To give you a little background, Priyanka, we're going to show you guys how an MCP server works as basically an AI agent. So instead of you saying, hey, instead of you going into in Visual Studio and running a test, you can now interact with the AI and saying, hey, can you go and run every single test at this point? After you run the test, can you give me back the results? The AI will also be able to fix any problems. Hey, run the test. If you find any issues, fix the issues, tell me the issues, and give me a report on it. So for you specifically, I think this course is perfect because this is going to really show you how AI can help us in doing your day-to-day. The prompt engineering, understanding MCP servers, really understanding Playwright and the infrastructure of Playwright, and building large scalable automation test frameworks. Will the course be recorded? Yes. Great question. The course will be recorded. We use a software that serves as a learning repository for us, which you guys will all have access to once you join the course. Once you join the course, you will have access to that software. It's just an online portal. Over there, you'll find all the recordings. We will record every session. Over there, you'll find the homeworks, as well as all the learning material, and will also serve as a discussion board. If you have any questions, you can also put them on the discussion board. Me and Rihanna will obviously address those questions. Now, even though the course is going to be recorded, I wouldn't say rely on that. I urge all students to attend every course and be present and participate and active. Me and Rihanna are going to do our best to be instructors and mentors, but we also you guys to do your best to learn and ask us questions, right? If we don't know if there's a problem, we're not going to be able to solve it. So we ask that of you guys too. I hope that answers your question, Priyanka. Okay. All right. Any more questions, guys? Yes, it does. Thank you. No problem. Alrighty. Is there another slide, Lovey? If not, I can take over. All right.
No, there is another slide, so you can take over now. Thank you.
Okay, great. So, guys, now we're going to do a high-level overview of the course curriculum. All right. Rihanna's going to start with her part. What is the fee? We're going to talk about the fee in the end. Okay, Mr. Yunus? We'll talk about the fee and the cost at the end. Our main goal is to show QA with the addition of AI, because that is where the industry is moving towards now. Okay? All right, Rihanna, you want to?
Yeah, sure. So, as Faik mentioned, we have 8 modules. We designed it in 8 different parts. And roughly, I'll take first 4 modules, and then Faik will continue with the latter 4. So I'll start in module 1 as the very foundation level knowledges and the very basic of software engineering. So somebody asked us about starting from the scratch. Yes, we are starting from the scratch. So it would start from the very foundation level, all the building blocks. So it will start from the SDLC, the testing cycle, the STLC, the defect, different methodologies like the agile, the practices of Scrum, and then reporting the bug in Jira, all these that the usual QA is responsible for. And then
I'm going to skip to your part. I was going to skip to your part.
Yeah, just go to module 1. Yes. Yeah, there's the module 1 I'm talking about. So all these are basic, and you cannot really skip all these things in even your actually doing the integration with AI, but still you need to know about the agile and the Scrum practices, the defect lifecycle, how to create the defect in Jira, how to use the Jira, test plan, test cases. But then at the middle of this module, we will go to the prompt engineering, which will be the introduction of the AI integration in our course. And then the generation of the test cases using the AI, the steps, the acceptance criteria, the bug reports that you did. AI can improve those bug reports. Also, the debugging can be done using the AI. Sometimes in Scrum, we have the sprints, right? So in the sprint summary, the reports can be generated using the AI too, and some of the validations. So all these will be packed into our module 1. Then in second module, we'll start with the programming language. As Faik mentioned before, that we will focus on Python and Playwright here. So Python will be our language, and as it is the OP, so we'll start with all the concepts of the OP, all the basics of the Python, and how can AI upgrade the programming thing in your test, and how can you integrate the LLM with your all the legacy code that you started to learn in this module, in the beginning of this module, and also the debugging thing I mentioned before. And sometimes we need to refactor our existing code. So how can AI assist you to refactor that code? That you'll also learn in this module. Then in the third module, so although we are saying that manual testing is declining, but you need to know some basic stuff. Again, you need to know the concepts of the boundary value analysis. You need to know about the decision tables, the risk-based testing. And when you first know about the risk-based testing, you can expand that using the AI. So the risk expansion via AI can be also included in this module. So this is basically all the traditional stuff that you need to know. At the same time, the upgrade using the AI that will be covered, including the AI-assisted exploratory testing. So that will be covered in module 3. Then in the 4th module, the automation will start. So basically, it's the playwright that we mentioned before. And as you already know about Python, so it will be easy for you to start with the tool, the playwright. So the framework structure, the POM structure, how can you arrange your different page object or the code in different ways. We can assist you doing that. Then there's a very important part of after you complete your framework and everything, the version controlling. All right, so we will teach you how to integrate your code, how to manage the Git things, the version controlling, and how can you actually integrate that with the CI/CD pipeline. Also the self-healing thing and the locators. Sometimes there's some little elements in the web page that can be changed over time. So you need to know how it can be minimized, that error regarding those changing of the things. So we will cover those in this module. At the end of this module, as Faik mentioned, we will start moving into the MCP server. And I think Faik can continue from this MCP server.
Yeah. So a lot of the heart of the course is going to happen over here, guys, right? This is where I mentioned we're going to start building the project that we're going to also leverage in our resumes. So as Rihanna mentioned, we're going to be doing trunk-based development, Git commands, and understanding how to do version control and actually sharing our code in some sort of repository. If someone's new to the term repository, think of it as a shared folder for others to actually view. Why that's critical for interviewees, right? For someone interviewing you, they might ask you, hey, what project have you worked on? You can now actually give them that shared folder and they can actually see the code that you did in the class. The code that you did in the class will obviously be also reviewed by us and give our sign off and blessings as well. But I really want to also focus that on the AI side, right? Our goal here is to teach you programming, teach you all the concepts, but then have AI do the work, right? we want to show you, hey, we built this framework, but AI is going to do majority of the coding. Our job is going to know how to basically work with AI, how to prompt AI to give us this actual code that we need, and then even have AI to go and implement that code. Eventually, when we get to the MCP server, that's going to change everything. At that point, now we're going to have actual local agents in our laptops that's going to be doing things for us, and we no longer have to even communicate with ChatGPT. We can just talk to our MCP server. The main focal point will be Playwright. Playwright is going to be coming constantly throughout the market, so you're going to see, and Playwright is going to be all over our project. Playwright is a Microsoft-owned software automation testing tool that does a whole bunch of stuff. Okay? All right, do we have any questions? Well, I can't really see right now, so let me just continue, guys, and then in the end, I'll take some more questions. Module 5, API testing and SQL. So now we're going into backend. QAs need to have a full understanding of an application, front end and back end, and there's middleware, right? QAs are responsible for testing everything. So QAs work side by side with engineers. Engineers are writing code. QAs are responsible for understanding their code, even if it's in the back, in the front, and the integration, how it's handled. We're going to talk about API testing. We're going to talk about CRUD methods, get, post, delete. We're going to talk about that into SQL, relational databases, and all that, and other more SQL advanced topics such as joins, CTEs, subqueries. And then we're going to tie it back to AI. How can AI generate our queries for us? How can AI even debug the queries for us? We're always going to take it back to understanding how is AI going to leverage, how are we going to leverage AI to do basically the work for us? And the reason why this is so critical nowadays, guys, is because companies know this. Companies are aware AI can do a lot of stuff. But AIs aren't just magic, right? You do have to understand how to create and how to interact with an AI. and how to make it universal or how to make it custom for your application. So a lot of those things we're going to understand, and companies want that because now companies want to do things at scale. They're like, all right, if you're going to use AI and if it took you one day to create, create one class of code, now that you have AI, create a whole project, do it in a day. That's what companies are expecting. Sorry, I had a speech impediment. That's what companies are now expecting. And that's our goal in this course, is to learn and then work at scale. We are going to be using some sort of application that we're going to decide. And basically that's going to serve as our application under test. Okay. As for tools that we're going to be leveraging in this course is all going to be free tools. We're going to be using all different frameworks, which are open source. That's basically code that we're going to be implementing. And any other AI tools that we might use, we'll also be using the free licensings. Okay. Then eventually, we want to talk into some more advanced stuff. We're going to start going into CI/CD, understanding how to take our test, moving it off from our local environment, which is our laptop, and moving into some sort of cloud server and having it run off of that. It's also going to tie back to AI. How can AI actually get us to take our test from our laptop onto the server and then run the test, report on the run, even examine the report, and then report back to us what happened? That is our goal eventually. Our goal is to learn a lot of stuff and then use AI to go and do the things for us. So we basically just become reviewers, and then we can move faster. CI/CD, we're going to go into all that. Again, at this point, once you get to this point in the course, I know this is fairly new to some people. You're going to be fully up to speed with everything, right? Git version control you're going to see in Module 4, so it's not going to be anything that new to you. Some of the new things that might be CI/CD, Docker fundamentals, might be new at this point, but the concept won't be so new because we've done so much advanced coding and programming up until we got here. So do not be alarmed that everything we're teaching is starting at the ground level, but we're just building foundational blocks on top of each other. So everything will build on top of each other. So by the time you get to a module, you should be fully up to speed. All right. In the real world, QAs have advanced. QAs are responsible for ownership of the CI/CD pipeline now. QAs are also getting to a point where some QAs are looking at developers' code, reviewing developers' PRs, writing unit tests. Our goal, again, is to make you a full stack, well-rounded QA, not just being able to do manual testing. You're writing test cases and finding bugs, which is great, but also able to do engineering practices of writing automation code, reviewing automation code, and then implementing automation code on some sort of cloud server. We're going to teach all that from scratch. Any tools we use, again, will be free for you guys, so no worry over there. Then we'll go into performance testing and security testing, understanding a little bit more into that. And then eventually, obviously, tying it back to how can AI go and do the security, load testing, performance testing, all that good stuff for us. Okay. So this is when it gets a little bit more tricky. At this point, this is more like of a niche topic, but we also wanted to introduce machine learning systems. Now, this is not a machine learning course. Some of you might have heard the term machine learning, but sometimes there are QA roles that do work on machine learning systems. So we also wanted to introduce that in our module, again, bringing you guys to the whole concept of being a full stack, well-rounded quality assurance analyst, or an SDET or a QA engineer. Any of those roles would qualify. So this is where we'll be covering all those things. Chatbot testing, as you guys have seen, image model testing, flaky test detection. One of the main things and main issues that come up when it comes to automation is test break. What do we do about that? And how do we make sure when it does break, it doesn't impact everything, right? How do we account for that? So we're going to be covering all those topics in this last module, I believe. And this will obviously be This will move you to a point where, now you should be considered a thorough QA and have seen all aspects of quality assurance when it comes to software development, right? From idea to release. So now we're going to work on the industry capstone projects, all right? Industry known, a lot of people have this on their GitHub accounts. That was the thing I mentioned, that repository that people share. So we're also going to be following the same suit. These are the projects we want to work on, and this will be happening during the internship program. At this point, you have finished the course, you have learned the skill set that we wanted you guys to do, and you should feel confident enough now to go and actually do some sort of project. The project will be kind of on your own, but we're going to be there to guide you, right? We're going to be there to help you with any questions, any feedback. But we want you guys to be able to kind of do it on your own with us being your guidance. Okay? Now, don't be alarmed. This is not the first project you're going to do in the course. We're obviously going to do other projects up until we get here. But this will kind of be the final validation of everything we taught. And after creating this project, you should feel some sort of confidence that, yes, I am prepared, ready to go into the market, or ready to go into the mock interview and start interview prep. Okay? Some of the skills developed in the course, core foundational skills you will need. Yes, software testing, all that stuff is great. What I care about more, Python programming, automation framework development. Two of the major skills we're going to be highlighting in this course is understanding how to create automation playwright projects that are scaled, that are reusable, right? These are some of the main things that interviewers are looking for. Everything else is very critical, but everything else is kind of a stem off of that. So imagine you need to learn how to do a manual test. Simple. I need to test the login feature. I want to be able to say, can I log into Facebook successfully? Right? You would go put a username, password, enter. That's the manual test. Eventually, we want to turn that into an automation test. We have to use programming to do that. Then eventually we want to put that into a test suite with other tests. Then eventually we want to turn that into a pipeline where, hey, I don't want to manually trigger the test. I want the test to just run depending on something. So a lot of everything I'm talking about is going to build on each other and starts at this ground level. And we're going to cover all that, and obviously including and focusing on how AI is going to assist us. Soft skills throughout the program, you're going to obviously learn analytical thinking. There's going to be times where there's going to be challenges. One of the things I try to tell all my students is errors, right? When someone gets an error, usually it's kind of confusing. You're navigating the internet. All of a sudden, you see a big 404 on some website you go to. You don't know what to do. In this course, our goal is to get you comfortable with errors, looking at errors and being able to solve them. Errors are going to be your friend, right? A comfort zone for you. That is one of our goals. And that's going to show, hey, you're like, when you get a problem, you're going to be more proactive to solving the problem, solving it right and making sure it doesn't happen again, as opposed to reactive, like, oh, this problem happened, now I don't know what to do. So we want to get you guys comfortable in that sense, because in the real world, you're going to be around errors all day, but AI will be there to help you. And then obviously problem solving, technical documentation, AI will also help with that. Agile communication, very important, understanding the real world. How do QAs fit in? What are their day-to-day responsibilities? What does the day-to-day look like? Who do they work with? What are some meetings they go to? Some of the logistics stuff we're also going to cover, and you're also going to understand that and get those soft skills as well. So you can talk about that in the interview. Code review, logical reasoning. Logical reasoning when it comes to software, guys, not the real world. You're kind of on your own on that. But when it comes to software, yes, we're going to teach you guys how to interact with AI, how to look at code and understand, hey, how to make this code better, how to make this code more reusable. And really sometimes writing code and having AI review the code and giving feedback to you, like, hey, was this code good? Can you make it better? And then being able to look at the code, okay, this is how it got better, and how to then implement it. So a lot of those things will be covered, and eventually, before you know it, by the end of the course, our goal is to have you guys fully up to speed with all these skills. So Transfotech will provide some certification for you guys, okay? And these are some past certifications that other students have came with before. I think some of you guys have heard of these. There's IST QB, but you guys will get some certification and that you can also highlight in your resumes. As Labib mentioned, Transfotech is e-verified by the USCIS, I think. That's what the acronym is. So this has some meaningful impact for you guys as well, too. All right. So this is just a little blurb for you guys. I just want to stress that everything in life is all about change. Industry, markets, they all are going to change. That's the constant, right? We have to change with it. So that's why our goal over here is to now show the new QA role has evolved with AI. Software is not going anywhere. You guys have probably seen more startups and companies popping up every day. If you go through your phone, if you have the Apple Store, you'll see more applications every single day. And that's because creating software has gotten so easy. The good thing that means for us is that since more software is being created, quality assurance is a necessity. Quality assurance has not gone anywhere. It's changed a little bit in the sense that now, yes, everyone owns some ownership. Developers, software engineers, they own some ownership of quality. They wrote some code. They should own the code they wrote. Product owners who write tickets, they own quality too. They created a ticket. They should be able to verify, hey, this ticket passed testing. But QAs own full on quality because that's your entire job. So you have the full ownership of it. And obviously, you should have some sort of pride in that, pride in your ownership of QA. And our game plan for this course is to make you guys understand how we can learn all these skill set and make sure that quality is, being approved when it comes to software development. Okay. Okay, great. I think that's all I had. Do we have any more questions? So that was the course curriculum, guys. I'm not sure if that's accessible to everyone. Mr. Levy can talk about that. But does anybody have any questions on the course? Or any concerns? Oh, we have some questions. There are engineering graduates from all over the world applying for QA roles. Why would a company choose to hire someone like me who's transitioned from a non-technical background and completing a QA course? Great question. Of course. Listen, competition is going to be there. Competition is 100% going to be there. This course is going to make you aligned with every single QA who's been in the industry, but it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a little difficult. So our confidence is that everything we're teaching you is going to be fully verified and fully needed in the market today. So how you're going to stand out is if you give it your all and able to learn all the topics, right? Able to complete the projects, and then you're able to bring that in the interview. In the interview, it doesn't matter who comes from what, where in the world you come from. It's going to matter what can you convey to the person interviewing you. How much do you know? How much have you done? In this course, the project you're building is going to be worthy enough to show an interviewer, hey, I can create code and create projects, so I can create automation frameworks for a company like yours. Okay? So that's what's going to make you stand out. In the end of the day, there's going to be competition regardless for any role. But just like you're saying, hey, there's engineering graduates, there's also going to be people who are not that great engineering graduates, right? Right? Some people might have graduated with a C, nonetheless. So it all is going to come down to how much effort you're going to give, Sharab. we can provide confidence letting you know that what we're completing with this course is the same skill set we're going to teach you is the same skill set that an engineering graduate might also have. The rest will be on you to provide the effort. We're going to be here to help you along the way for sure. Hope that answers your question. Okay. Any more questions on the curriculum, the QA role, the QA market? This would be a good time to ask. Alrighty. So I'm going to give it back to Labib now. And he is going to talk about the fees. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Faik, for handing it over to me. So I'll just share my slide now. Okay, so my screen, is it visible?
Almost.
Okay.
Now it is.
So moving to the next one, the most awaited part, our payment plan. So we currently have three payment plans available: the one-time payment, the monthly installment, which is split into 2 months, and a 5-month installment. So whichever plan is suitable for you guys can enroll in that plan, as it is mostly flexible for the students. And additionally, there are actually two limitations from our side. The first one is our student enrollment capacity, because Transfotech has always focused on student quality over quantity. So we're not gonna take like 50 or 60 students in a program so that we can like bring up more revenue. Rather than we'd focus on a small batch or a small group of students, maybe 10 to 15 students. We're gonna provide them with all the training, all the qualityful engagements and materials we have, and then get them into the market. So first come, first serve. If you guys want to enroll, you can enroll in any of the following plan. And additionally, we don't have any kind of after job payments. Like if you get a job, many like companies say you have to pay us a percentage or a portion of your salary. So there is nothing sort of that. Whatever you want to pay, it will be totally upfront and not a single penny after your enrollment. So this is the plan. And additionally, moving on to our Q&A section, Faik already, I think, asked the question. So if you guys have any kind of question for our instructor, Rihanna or Faik, or to me about the payment plan, about the academy, about the program, you can ask now, as it's quite late here at New York. So we can wrap up as quick as possible and let you guys go. So if you have any questions, you can shoot now. We have two questions from Priyanka and Amar. What is the fee? Amar, I actually showed the slide of the fee structure. You can also find it in our website, www.transfotechacademy.com. You can find the fee structure, the course curriculum, the module, and our contact details there. So any more questions from anyone else? Okay, great. I don't think anyone has a question. So I think we can move on to our next slide. This is me, your host for tonight. My name is Mushfiq Labib, and here's my contact number 9292035142, and my email address labib@transfercareer.com, and also our office address at Manhattan, Los Angeles. So whenever you guys want to give a visit, do let us know or call me at this number. I will fix an appointment and you can meet us in the office. And if you're lucky, you may meet our instructors in the office as well. So you can keep a screenshot of this page and let me know, or let call in our official number and let us know afterwards. So, and here is our team. Mr. Naveed Ahmed, that's me, Sumaya Kona, Fahim Faisal, Habibur Rahman Saad, Aryan Khan, and Achul Khan. So this is the whole team of career advisors who will guide you from the very scratch of your enrollment till our like getting into the job market, following our 6-step process. So many of you have already talked to many of our advisors, and additionally, they will reach out to you tomorrow or maybe next Monday to talk about the enrollment, as we have limited capacity, as I already said. So yeah, That was all from my side. I think if anyone has a question, you can ask now, or otherwise, if Faik and Rihanna allows, I think we can end the session for tonight as it's quite late. So, handing the floor over to Rihanna and Faik.
Yeah. Thanks for everyone that attended. When does the course start? Great question. When does the course start? Labib, do you want to handle that?
Okay, when does the course start? If you guys want, we can start it next week. I think Faik and Rihanna are fully prepared for you guys. So totally depending on that, we're gonna start as soon as possible. But as Faik already said, we're gonna go slow throughout the month of Ramadan. And after Ramadan, we're gonna go on full-fledged. So the enrollment is open for now, but as soon as the enrollment closes, we'll announce the proper schedule and we'll start the classes.
Yeah.
So
So
again,
no exact date yet, Fahad, but as you know, soon as in the near future, definitely very soon. Definitely very soon. We're gonna obviously talk to the students, get the course together, but ideally soon. The only caveat to that is there are a lot of Muslims that are practicing Ramadan this month, including me and Rihanna. So we are going to do a little bit slow once a week for the month of Ramadan. I hope that everyone understands that. And then after that, we'll full speed ahead. Got it. Thank you.
So yeah, that was all from our side. Maybe Rihanna, do you have anything else to say for the students?
Oh, we have a good question here. We'll make the schedule for the weekends. So unfortunately, the thing is, we are not going to do any weekend classes, guys. So me and Rihanna are based out of New York City. Oh no, Rihanna's based out of Michigan. Sorry, but
Yes, same time
but
zone.
you're going to be working Eastern time, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to be working Eastern time. Realistically, most likely, the classes are going to be on a weekday because a lot of students over here have their own personal lives. They have families, they have jobs. So the weekend works out for them. Why we try to avoid the weekends is also because some same reason. A lot of people who also work a regular job are taking the course. On the weekends, they have errands to run, things to do they couldn't do in the weekdays. So we try to allow them to have that time. Same for me and Rihanna as well. So most likely, when I mean most likely, like 95% sure, the course is going to be on a week, Monday through Friday. Okay, Raul? If that is an issue, we can obviously figure out something. Feel free to reach out to Labib and he can reach out to us and we can figure out some sort of game plan. But for everyone, it's going to be a weeknight. We just haven't decided what day yet. Okay? Alrighty. Thanks everyone for attending. Much appreciated.
Thank you again, everyone, for joining the session tonight. So you can we'll reach out to you as soon as possible, but you can also reach out to us and any one of you if you want to talk with Rihanna or Faik individually. You can also tell us. We'll see if they have a free schedule. We'll try to connect you to them so that you can have a better understanding of the program. And if any of your friend or family they want to join, because you see, QA market, there was a misconception about the market. I think Faik and Diana has totally clear about that. You can verify all of our data we share into LinkedIn, Dice, Indeed, Monster, wherever you want, and you can see that in real time. So don't waste your time. Get skill as soon as possible, enroll in the program, and get hired into the market. So that was all from our side tonight. Thank you everyone again for joining. It was a great session. Hope to see you guys soon in the program. Take care till then. Have a very good night.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.